have your notes? Do you remember? You didn't even review?
No, this is engagement and suspense, transitions, digging deeper.
I feel like there should be a noise in the background.
Brown chicken, brown cow.
We haven't even started yet. Yeah, no, you did all this, and then we started, and then it was like this.
Because you were like a news anchor, and I was just listening to the news.
No, if it was a news anchor, it would be like, today, live from the studio.
Me.
No, that's just what makes this very awkward, because when I hear my voice in through this, it does not sound like that in my head. So when you hear yourself through here, does it sound the same as it is in here?
Genuine.
No, it's not. It's the same tone and pitch and everything.
You asked me a question about what the voice in my head, and you say, no, it's not.
Because you hear the same thing. So like right now.
So I'm an avionics guy. I've worn headphones forever. I've done tons of radio calls, and this is ta-da.
Do I sound like a valley girl?
Redneck version.
What is a redneck version of a valley girl?
I guess it's a Brentwood girl.
I'm not from Brentwood.
I know, but a redneck version of a valley girl would be a Brentwood girl.
The Brentwood girl now would just be a girl from California who lives in Tennessee.
And wears white cowboy boots.
Mm-hmm. And sparkly skirts. Okay. I don't know. How do you do the first one with more enthusiasm than you do like the future ones?
I don't think that's a word, but I think you do it all with
enthusiasm?
Yeah.
Enthusiastic? Wouldn't there be enthusiasm?
Be enthusiasm.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Jaded Mayhem podcast, where we talk all true crime, paranormal, and a little conspiracy theory, and just mayhem. Hey guys, we just wanted to insert real quick. We forgot to say this when we initially recorded who we are. So I'm Jade.
And I'm Mike.
And let's just get back to the podcast. We live in Northern Alabama. We are both veterans. You retired just last year from the Army.
I did, 22 years.
We moved here to be closer to family. We kind of both lived all over, but we're settled and not going anywhere. We talk about true crime and everything daily anyways, and in between with like conspiracy theories and mayhem.
Some things we'll be sharing on the podcast. Some things we'll keep to ourselves.
So we thought, why not do a podcast? I've been obsessed with true crime since I was a little kid at my granny's house watching like the ID channel or any of those other channels.
And I have been committing crime since I was a kid.
I'm sure you did. I hate to say I love true crime, but I'd rather watch a true crime documentary instead of a movie. And I think you can testify to that.
I sure can.
Even though you and Justin, our oldest son, well, not oldest son, one of the older twins, kids, we're cutting that. Cut. You and our son, Justin, will watch a ton of movies together.
We will.
And I usually go to bed or watch true crime.
Or say you're going to bed and lay down and watch true crime.
Or Ghost Adventures.
I think we've seen every episode twice.
I think some of them more because the ones that you and Justin have watched, I've had to rewatch a few times because one, we've had to, life. So without further ado, here's our first story we wanted to bring to you today. We came up with the story. Well, you did. You brought it to me saying you had a story.
I did. It looked very interesting. I did a little skim over it, and I thought it would be something cool to dig into, learn more about, so I passed it along to you.
So our first story is set in Hong Kong. Do you say Hong Kong, China, or you just say Hong Kong? Like if you were to, everyone knows where Hong Kong is, but maybe there's a few who don't, who live under a rock.
Yeah, I would just say China because I can't pronounce half the cities anyway.
So even if you were talking about Hong Kong, it was separate a long time ago. Did you know that?
Yeah, that's why they have the Hong Kong dollar.
Okay. Well, it was based in Hong Kong, the story, and it happened in the late 90s. The woman who was murdered, her name was Fan Man-yee, and she died around 23 years old. She was a nightclub hostess, kidnapped by 3 men. She was slowly tortured and died a month later. She was a nightclub hostess, right? Is that what you found? There was something. Okay, you can jump in and tell me. I forgot. Fan Man-yee was placed in an orphanage when she was a young child. I tried to look for the age, but I'm assuming toddler, because I couldn't imagine a parent putting their child in an orphanage at like 6, 7, or 8, only because there was the one child policy. So I would think that it would happen when she was a lot younger. I didn't see it anywhere. I didn't specify. So China no longer has the one child policy, just so that's known. Over the years, they slowly increased it to 3, and then they got rid of it in 2021.
Why do you think it got rid of in 2021?
I don't know. Maybe some people can put 2 and 2 together and realize what was going on in 2020.
A lot of our population, specifically in that region, declined.
But when the one child policy was in favor, or when it was in effect, boys were more favored than girls to keep because of the bloodline, right?
Yes.
Okay. So she aged out of the orphanage. I'm assuming around 13, 14, and I can explain later why I think that. So it caused her to be on the streets, which led her to do prostitution and drugs. But eventually she worked in the brothel and married one of her clients, but he ended up being abusive. She had a son in the late 90s. She quit drugs and prostitution, left the hubs, and got her a job as a hostess at a nightclub called the Empress Karaoke Club.
So you call it hostess. I'm sure if I was to Google Empress Karaoke Club, it's a strip club.
I remember that. One thing we didn't say is this is our second time recording this. So you did say that the first time. I don't remember reading strip club anywhere. So which source said that? Do you remember?
No.
Okay.
Could have just been my reasoning in my head. You don't go from a brothel to a hostess.
Very true. Maybe she was a hostess at the strip club.
Hostess makes the least amount of money.
Wait, do you think it was like like one of those clubs in Korea? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I think it was just a legit, straight up strip club.
So the man of the hour who did the kidnapping, I call him the ringleader. His name is Chan Man-lok. He was a pimp and a drug dealer, and he was Fan Man-yee's frequent customer at this nightclub. That would make sense with you saying strip club, not her stripper, but strip club, because it said he was her frequent customer. But allegedly she stole $4,000. I'm assuming it was in Hong Kong money, because I read, I think I was on Reddit, that said it was $500 US. I didn't confirm.
Yeah, let's go back. Like, a hostess does not have customers.
That is very true. I don't know why I didn't think of that. She returned the money, but then he wanted $10,000. So to get revenge, Chan and 2 guys kidnapped Fan. The 2 guys were, I'm going to butcher their names, so I apologize, Leong Wai-lun, Leong Xing-cho. Possibly on meth, but I think they would have done this high or not. I'm not sure with the torturing, but whatever they had planned. The original plan was to pimp her out, but then they changed their minds to torture.
Yeah, so he got drunk at the club, passed out, and while he was passed out, she raided his wallet.
That's right. You had that information. I did not.
She took his money, put the wallet back, and then when he came to and realized he had no money, he put 2 and 2 together.
Desperate times call for desperate measures.
But then whenever she was confronted by him, she offered to give all the money back and apologized. And that's where the extra money came in, kind of, some extortion.
Makes sense.
Because she knew he was a bad dude.
Well, apparently it made him so angry that the torture, they burned her, tied her by electrical wire possibly sexually assaulted her. And Reddit had stated that they force-fed her drugs and hung her from a ceiling. But there was no, like, source that provided that. And I didn't read that in any articles. And eventually she died of her injuries either on the 14th or 15th of April in 1999. But when they say tied by electrical wire, do you think it was plugged in the wall? And
No, I think when they say that, it's just an extension cord.
Extension cord?
Yeah, I think this was
okay,
probably
yeah.
written originally in Chinese, so when you translate it over.
True. Didn't think of that. So she would not probably have been discovered if this 13, 14-year-old girl didn't find her. Her name in the court documents was Fong, but it wasn't her real name. It was like a pseudonym.
Yeah, we'll just call her Fong.
Fong. Makes me think of Fong, Fong, Fong. She went to the police station saying that she was being haunted by a woman in her dreams, and that the woman was being tortured to death. She gave a specific detail, though, that she was tortured with electrical wire, but the police didn't believe her until she said that she helped torture the woman. So I'm assuming she came up with this story or even went to the police station to try and just go by this story as she was feeling guilty because she did help torture at the beginning.
Yeah, kind of like a little bit of buyer's remorse. She was feeling bad. Second guessing it.
Survival, some more. Or
that'll work.
Is that how you say it?
Survivor's guilt.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
So on the 24th of May, it brought an arrest. Shit. No, wrong. Backtrack. It brought the police to the flat in Kowloon district. And 28 May, Chan was arrested. One of the guys, Leung Hwa Lun, fled to mainland China, but later, the next year, he was arrested because of passport issues. But I didn't read about the other guy's arrest. I didn't find that. But in the apartment, they found the Hello Kitty doll with the decapitated skull of a woman. Yeah, who's that? Your girlfriend?
My alarm to take my medicine.
So the association of Fong to the men is she was assumed to be one of the guy's girlfriend. And people believe she was being groomed and put out for prostitution. But I can't confirm that information. But I think Fan was aged out of the orphanage just like
Fong.
Yes. Sorry, my mind went blank for a second. Only because this girl was 13, 14. And I think Fan was out in the streets like the same situation.
Mm-hmm.
But Fong witnessed part of the torture and then became part of
a torturer.
Torturer, yeah. And there was one article that tried to say that she was a part of the abduction, but that's unclear as well.
Just imagine if you were the cops and you walk into this apartment and there's just blood everywhere. A bloody Hello Kitty mermaid was this protruding shape coming out of their head, and you go to check it out, and it's a human skull stuffed inside of a stuffed animal.
I know there was blood on it, and it was a very gross apartment, but in my mind, it's like I would not assume there'd be a decapitated head in Hello Kitty doll. There'll be pictures posted on Instagram. I will not be posting them on Facebook. I'm sure Facebook will deny or whatever. So the men claimed she died of a drug overdose, and it would have been meth, I guess, that she died of, but many people believe she died a result of her injuries. But after her death, the men obviously dismembered her body because her head was found in the Hello Kitty doll. And they cooked pieces of her body to prevent them from decomposing. I got curious, so I Googled, can a body not decompose when being, like body parts, when boiled in water? And that is false. It still can be. It actually probably does the opposite and makes a distinct smell. So there would be a smell there. And I believe the feds will be knocking on our door tomorrow because of what I Googled. They tossed the body parts around to different areas, which later were found by the police. They saved her head, though. We know that. Placed and sewed it inside a yellow Hello Kitty mermaid doll, specifically. But they also kept her teeth and several organs, according to one of the articles. And they put the organs... I don't know. I thought I read in a bag.
Yeah, I can only speculate organs for the black market.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, too.
So, like, if they did find it, she wouldn't be identified by dental records. But if you're on the streets at 14 years old, I can't imagine you went to the dentist too often.
That is... Like, it is... Like, I don't remember anywhere how they identified her. So that's interesting. So due to her dismemberment and state of her body parts, medical examiners could not determine cause of death. But what led to the conviction were the 3 men's DNA that were all over the kitchen utensils and then Ah Fong's testimony. So Chan and Leung Wai-lun, they remain in prison as of April this year. That's from the latest article I could find if these guys were still in prison. I'm assuming Leung Shing-cho, the third man, is still in prison, but his sentence originally was reduced to 18 years. Got out, sexually assaulted a 10-year-old girl, and then back in prison. So I'm assuming he's still there.
And he was the one who had the 13-year-old girlfriend, Fong.
He could have been the one. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's gross. I could not, because we have a 13-year-old. I wouldn't murder, but my child also wouldn't have gone to the orphanage.
She can't even have a 13-year-old boyfriend, much less 20s.
She acts like she's 30. If she was in here, she'd be giving you so much sass. So her skull was held at the I can only think it's pronounced Kowloon, but that's the American way of thinking because it's K-O-W and C-O-W is cow. So public mortuary. I had to Google what that was because a public library, I'm like, there's no way that people can just go to a mortuary like a public library.
Oh, I'm sure you can. You just can't check them out.
Oh my God. That's gross.
Yeah, just imagine like the late fees if you didn't return it.
You didn't bring us one, so we have to take one. So it's ran by the Department of Health, and they store bodies under investigation, especially when dying from non-natural circumstances. But that's really all it is. I don't know what
it's a state-run morgue.
Yeah, but maybe that's the translation thing that gets a little caught up. But her skull was held there and then given to the family, cremated after March 2004. The apartment no longer exists. I believe it's a hotel now. There was a necklace found that was hers. That was found. Her necklace was found. We'll just say that during the investigation, and it was given to her son. But did you know that there were 2 films inspired by this case?
Would I have heard of them?
No, because they're foreign movies. The first one is called Human Pork Chop. I'm really hoping that's a incorrect translation because the movie is exactly what happened in the case. But if I was to read that title, I would think it's cannibalism. The next one is called There Is a Secret in My Soup. Again, I would think about cannibalism.
Yeah, nobody's talking about the skull and the Hello Kitty doll. They're all focused on boiling of the bones.
Yes. Well, so the first one, the synopsis I read was talking about like dismemberment of a woman and like the crime and stuff like that. So it seemed very close to the same. But the next one was just about a young woman who suffered extreme spousal abuse. I didn't read further because I wasn't that curious. I was just curious, what could this movie be about when it's called There's a Secret in My Soup? So the only thing I could assume is maybe she's trying to kill her husband because he's abusive. Because I feel like that's how an American movie would be about a woman who's being abused. So Hong Kong actually had a low homicidal suicidal rate, and it's actually lower today. Same for America. I wouldn't say theirs was low, but it just has gone down when I compared the statistics. I was going to provide percentages, but then I was going back over my notes, and I was like, that's really boring. Nobody really cares.
Nobody cares.
No. Hong Kong is the 4th most densely populated region in the world. I knew it was high. I just didn't know. I thought it was higher than the 4th. New York is up top, and I think the other one's London.
And then I would imagine India.
I was legit thinking that. So based on numbers from 2024, 7.524 million people live there. I don't know America.
China or Hong Kong?
I'm assuming Hong Kong, but I could be wrong. But doesn't New York have like a few million?
Yes.
So I'd imagine maybe New York has more. Wait, in America it's 1 billion, right?
I'm not that smart. I don't know if any of you guys are from New York. Let us know how many people are there.
Or correct us on America's population when I should have had that, I guess.
And if anybody speaks Chinese, please tell us how to correctly pronounce these names.
Well, there's different. So there's Chinese and Cantonese. Cantonese is a dialect of Chinese, right?
I believe language and all, like written script, everything. Like Cantonese, Mandarin.
That might be a dialect. I don't know. In Japan, there's 3. There could be more because of like native languages, possibly. Because in China, apparently there's native languages as well. Which, I mean, maybe Hong Kong. I'm not sure about China when I was reading it. So, but Hong Kong was established as a colony of the British Empire after the King. Oh my God. Q-I-N-G.
Q.
I-N-G.
I-N-G.
King?
Sure.
Well, it's after that dynasty in 1841 and 1842, and I feel like I sound very uneducated not knowing how to pronounce these, and I guess I should have asked, like, the little thing to pronounce it.
I don't even know the different languages they speak in China. I'm the uneducated one.
I did more research.
Mm-hmm.
During World War II, Hong Kong was occupied by Japan. Did you know that?
I did.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Japan was a powerhouse.
So they, like, took it over?
They were slowly conquering the entire Pacific.
And they just gave it back when they lost?
But they didn't have a choice.
Because America said so?
Yes. We slowly took things back from them along with other countries, and then we had to sign the treaty with them that was signed on the USS Missouri that said they would no longer have a military. That's why they have like a Japanese defense force.
We've been on the USS Missouri several times when we lived in Hawaii. Well, United Kingdom handed over the territory back to China in 1997. And Hong Kong actually still has 2 separate governing and economic systems compared to China. I don't really know what all that means, but it is the world's 3rd ranked global financial center behind New York City and London. I guess that's where I saw that. But I would think the same for populated. Well, it doesn't really matter. But that's the end of all my notes. I knew it was going to be a short one. What time is it?
Bedtime. 9:11.
Okay. If you want to send any stories or educate us on things we could have been wrong on, or like personal stories you'd like us to cover, the jury at jadedmayhem.com.
Can you spell it just to make sure?
THEJURY.
No caps, no spaces?
Nope. At JADEDMAYHEM.com. COM. And then check out the website, jadedmayhem.com. Take a peek around. Please subscribe to our podcast, which should be on all platforms or...
So we're kind of new to this, so we're going to try all. We're just going to start putting it out there and see what it takes.
Social media is coming and more than likely will be up by the time this is posted. And all my resources to my research and Mike's will be listed below.
All of my resources are from the Google.
But I Googled as well. I also asked ChatGPT, my bestie. He's been very helpful.
How do you know it's a he?
I don't know.
Because he's always right.
That's funny. With that, thanks for listening.
All right, bye.
Till next time. You did better this time.